interesting. I wouldn't have dozed off
Way.
I can't believe I didn't even notice. That's the worst part. I was just like talking, and I just don't even notice.
A cat was like looking across you, and you were just like, "What's going on?" I'm doing my job here. I'm analyzing what's going on.
I'm like looking at the preview monitor,
Yeah.
Jack, and Austin had this. Cap had this genuine laugh going on. I'm like, what the hell is?
He was just
I'm
resting.
watching you
He was
today.
just resting his eyes.
watching you
That's all he
today.
was doing.
I'm
Just
ready.
resting his eyes to give you some insight, thinking about the draft.
Do you get coffee today, Jack?
No, I got a decent night's sleep though, so hopefully we're in the clear.
He was up. I was eating breakfast at 6 a.m. Jack came down at 6 a.m. So
I
don't believe this guy.
I just want to
don't
point
believe
out
him.
that we've all flown 20 hours plus to get here. Jack, how long did it take to get here?
14, I think.
Right, okay.
He flew pretty far.
All right, he flew
He
far.
flew from New York,
Ish.
so.
Okay, all right. We'll let him off.
For now.
Yeah. Unless he does it again today. Moving on. Talking of sleepy, Newbee have been a bit sleepy day one as well, haven't they? 0-2 yesterday, and against two teams you arguably thought they would at least get a point from. Lose again now, that's 0-3, and they've got harder games to come. They've got to play TNC, they've got to play OG, and they've got to play Liquid yet, which would need them needing to win all of those matches to get through the groups. That's unbelievable.
Mathematically, you can only lose 3, right?
Well, you could lose 4.
You can lose 4 kind of.
Because you could. I mean, I think you can get through with 3-0. You may even be able to get through with 2-0, depending on if two other teams only win one game. But you need at least 3 to guarantee your way through. And they're on almost. If they lose this one, they're on the point of needing to win all the rest of their games. That's astonishing. But you said yesterday you're a big Newbee fan right now. You think they're a bit up and down, a bit inconsistent still?
Yeah, very unstable team. Like when they show up, they play really well, and I don't know. Like I feel like
But like Genting though, you look back and you just go, where's that team?
Kaka is the guy.
That's 2 months ago.
No, Kaka is the main guy. If they do well, if he's doing well, the team will do well. If he's not doing well, then the team won't do well.
Sure, no, I get that, and we know that he's how good he is with the Sand King.
Yeah.
We know that he can control the tempo of the game with that. But you look back at Genting and look how good they were back then. They were brilliant in the grand final.
You know the thing is too is yesterday they struggled so much, and now today, the patch hit. And that patch actually nerfed a lot of their heroes.
It did.
Like Sand King, nerfed, Disruptor, nerfed. Those are their big jams, and I don't know how they're really going to punch back right now. I also think that, like for me, we always talk about Kaka, but I think SCCC's been a little bit underperforming for me lately. Like usually he's the super rising star. He always has. They set him up for these great games, but even when they do lately, I feel like he hasn't been hitting his usual level.
That is very perceptive of you because in the last few months the fire has shifted quite a bit actually to SCCC. It was KP was kind of an easy target before. He's this outsider. A lot of games he gets sacked or he looks a little lost. SCCC domestically in China has borne a lot of the blame recently. There's been a nickname that's come out for him. SCCC sounds like she, right? And she means like to basically act or perform, basically. So it's like he's like performer bro now. Instead of like soldier bro, he's like a performer, and that's like kind of taken in a negative context. Like he enjoys these like gets the spotlight, the attention.
Yeah.
You saw the scud and like all that stuff. Even before then, that was already out there. And he had like a very good image outside of China as well. So they're like, this guy loves to ham it up, but can his play back it up? And they had to change kind of the heroes that SCC was playing for a little bit as well. This guy, I would say, is like a prototypical like harvester type of player. You want to set the table for him, come in and let him clean up. But when you have him on a hero,
Jack's choice of words is always my favorite. I'm sorry.
When you have him on a hero that has to kind of come in and mix it up and fight himself, he doesn't do nearly as well. If you like the patch with the Lina patch we talked about again, like the last DAC time, right? He really struggled on these like Lina type of heroes, maybe a little bit squishier, maybe playing less cleanup. He has to mix it up and set up the fights.
Sure.
So they kind of switched him a little bit to kind of these more tempo mids. You saw like the kind of DK DPs that everyone else was playing to get those towers instead of necessarily having to gank or start fights. So like how they'll have to change the heroes that they put him on, the role that he's on. That's something to watch out for as this team, for the first time, usually super consistent. Winter said unstable. This team is known for being a stable and consistent
Super
team.
consistent. So SC, I see what you're doing there. Nice try, Jack.
That would be some Kyle level pun. I'm not quite there yet.
you did it yourself. I heard it.
Super clever, comical, and consistent.
There you go.
Right then, Newbee. Well, they've pulled out Fogg's favourite hero of the moment, which is the Tiny.
Is that my favorite hero?
10 seconds remaining.
Not the way you were flaming it during the break.
Was that flaming it?
Yes.
Did I flame Tiny?
Yes.
I don't remember flaming it.
Yes. You and I had a conversation like 10 minutes ago. What are you, Jack, asleep?
Did I? I don't remember.
Used to be. He's garbage right now. I don't know why people keep picking it. And I was
No,
like,
I think Tiny's good. I think
and
Tiny's
I
okay.
said to you, like, the win rates at Bucharest were awful.
Oh, you're talking about
14%
Tide. That was Tide Hunter.
Oh, I thought I was talking about Tiny.
Hunter.
Oh, no. That was Tide Hunter. I was like, What is this?
All right, clean my ears out.
No,
Tide, not tiny.
I think Tiny. I think he's still okay. He did get hit by a little bit of the nerfs, but
He's still like very
great.
flexible hero. Does a lot.
yeah, put in 3 rolls. Can always be pretty
So the
decent.
Chen is being like, is this a second game we still seen Chen? Like
This
Mineski picked it.
Yeah,
in
we've
the
seen
other
it on
group,
the
the other
main
stream,
stream.
and then they did it with Venge as well. So it's again Chen Venge.
That's very interesting.
So I guess the way you play Chen right now is like you don't get to send back the creeps, but you still do like you send and save your teammates and everything else about the hero is still perfectly fine. But you don't get to dominate like the off lane.
Yeah, you still get to bully that lane. And LGD,
But later on, like with a creep.
You need a 1 minute mark. Yeah, instead of having a presence before the 1 minute mark.
LGD again, as far as back as last year, they're kind of called like the preordained champions, the destined champions, the ones to finally be able to raise that flag again for China at this TI. And they've come on really strong lately. Again, like making some pretty big roster changes. Yao is gone. They got X-Nova, who was known in a lot of circles as the next up-and-coming SCA captain or SCA support player. So he's here now. And then they have Chalice in the offline. And Chalice is a player who, similar to Ori on VG, he was like the franchise player basically for his own old team. For Max, at some point he was playing carry and like the captain and drafter at the same time. So that's someone that has been looked upon real well. But in this team, I think he hasn't really found his place because this
Isn't
team
he the
puts,
drafter now?
this team puts so many resources in the hands of Ame and Maybe. And it's like it's like anyone who plays with them in that offlane role almost looks like sacrificial.
I think you have to
play that way. Yeah,
I think you have to with those 2 players. So I mean, it's going to be hard for him to really always find his groove. But
No,
I like Chalice. I do like I like watching some of his plays. I just think, like you said, he's got like a pretty limited resource when you have these 2 super carries on their team.
Yeah, and as you said, Winter, FY was like the captain and drafter for a little bit. FY's always been a very quiet player though, so he's not maybe the best at that position. He's one of those 4s who like plays very well, high mechanical skill, but maybe not as much of a leader or commander as you need for the team.
So now he's like doing mostly the drafting, right? Chalice, he's taken over.
It's interesting too, being like the newest player to join the team, right? Having to take a captain role is pretty difficult.
But he's proven that he can do that before and like basically carry a team with.
I just like the dynamics in the Chinese teams. You know, it's so different from team to team, isn't it? Newbee have often been referred to as the more westernized version of the Chinese teams. Quite happy to let SEC be flashy heroes. Quite happy to let a new guy come in and draft. Compare that with VGJ Thunder, where you've got the old man ROTK at the back, barking orders, telling people who they'll play, drafting for them, telling them what style they'll run each game. It's such a marked difference.
Ooh.
Hello.
I was hoping we'd get to see this hero today. So it turns Supernova turns it to daytime and 1300 AoE now on the ulti. Pretty.
Turning it to
Huge
daytime,
AoE.
wouldn't it maybe be a nerf to the hero?
Yes, I think it's a slight nerf, but I think it can work well versus other heroes as well too that have like good night vision and stuff like that. But
Got a couple of Phoenix players here, including Kaka, obviously on this
Yeah,
team. There's also a couple of others in other teams.
One of his favorite heroes.
Yeah.
He's really good at the hero. Position 4 Phoenix.
Just to add to what Red Eye was saying, again, Newbee in a lot of ways, people often say, you know, why don't you guys have a coach? Sancheng coached them very briefly last season, and then they had another guy who came in for like a very short stretch, but they haven't had a coach. And part of that is, again, like Kaka has such strong ideas that's often hard to fit a coach into that mix. Whereas you look at these other teams, LGD, for instance, 357 is one of the older and more established coaches in the scene. He played on the older E-Home teams. He was on the VG for a while. And then Banana, I believe, is one of the for the other team for LFY is one of the highest paid coaches in the scene, or probably anywhere. I believe
I
that's
thought I heard Mikasa was the highest paid coach in China. Is that not right?
Mikasa on VG.
Yeah.
They're both up there. They're
Are they?
both up there. So.
Without seeing their pay slips, we can't actually say which one's being paid more, but they're
Yeah.
both highly paid.
Yeah, and then you talk about ROTK and like that guy's role compared to Newbee, like he does the drafting.
Yeah, it's very
decides
different, isn't it?
what the team can play, you know. So even teams have very different philosophies
5
on this.
seconds remaining.
DK into Viper.
That's a bit interesting.
Yeah.
Mm.
I've seen the lane go fine, but in the later stages, the Nether Toxin just can be really devastating. And there's a Chen, too, which can make it pretty tough. But I guess they just want to have something that can 5-man with the Phoenix. Be able to pressure towers. I mean, Sunray's still really, really strong ability.
Sunray, great hero.
Yeah, Sunray's always going to be like that. The amount of heal that you can actually help your team with
Do you remember
is
that
pretty
when it
ridiculous.
first? What was that Epicenter 2 years ago?
Epicenter 2 years ago, and then it was, I mean, at Manila
And
Major
for a
too.
couple of months afterwards, wasn't
Yeah.
it? It was crazy.
But wasn't it like pure damage back then?
It was.
That was in
yeah.
Manila. That was in
Yeah.
Manila, yeah, in particular.
Yeah.
When Sunray first came out, it was like almost endlessly toggleable, where you could just like chase people up the hills.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
So now there's a troll into Phoenix, so
So-
that is a very good pick versus
Yeah,
that
so
egg.
the Venge is a support, I
Mhm.
presume.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
so.
Without-
Ame is a big fan of the Troll Warlord.
10 seconds remaining.
They're they're usually gonna save their again their core
seconds
picks
remaining.
to late, and then they're gonna have like a farmer at least for Ame, if not maybe as well. And this troll, I mean, remember he was playing it last year, and he got that Mask of Madness, and the jungle would just be swiped clean, and then come in and fight.
So I guess they'll be looking for some Beastmaster, like since they have Venge and Chen, Troll. That's like
yeah,
the,
I think that would be like perfect fit for them.
Yeah, that would be like the usual go-to with this kind of heroes.
Beastmaster or
LGD's
I mean, you can go for something like a Tide, but Tide is really like I don't know. A lot of people don't feel good about Tide right now. Like the pace of the game is too quick.
I was thinking something like maybe even a Batten or Beastmaster, because that can give them even more push, more threat on the egg. Roche.
Yeah, then you buy Helm on that hero.
Yeah,
10 seconds remaining.
I was thinking a Helm Carrier exactly.
But a balance like
5
you're just
seconds
going to
remaining.
1 of 5 men. You won't have catch. Beastmaster would mean that you still have.
Yeah, actually, that's a good call. The catch, because right now it's only Venge.
The only downside to that is it's not a KP hero. He's his most played recently a Tide, Omni, Underlord, Puck, and Brew.
Oh, we meant for LGD.
Oh, for LGD,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
to
for LGD,
Yeah, to finish the last hero for LGD.
There's a Luna left.
But
in
we're
the
looking
pool
for
as
a
well,
KP hero
if
for
anybody
Newbie,
wants to- Yeah, well, yeah, like you said, it's probably gonna be Mookie, but
Yeah.
in case.
Moogie for Tiny, right?
I mean, technically Phoenix could be an offlane hero.
Could be, yeah. So the Beast was right for LGD.
I've seen like what was it? Secret that ran
Yeah,
offlane.
DK offlane.
No, they ran Phoenix offlane
Okay.
as well. It could be, but
More likely to be Kaka.
yeah,
though,
more
isn't
likely
it?
to be
Yeah.
Kaka, because
This-
he's
this
kind of
lineup,
like
yeah.
he's kind of like his comfort hero.
10 seconds
And maybe the
remaining.
Tiny will be like offlane, and they're gonna pick something else, or the DK offlane.
5
Yeah,
seconds
they've got plenty of
remaining.
options here, that's for sure. Moogie's the one that's played the Tiny the most.
I mean, against the Troll, which one would get the better lane? Like DK would probably lane better against Troll on the offlane. Then you put Tiny against Viper, or you just pick someone else to lane against
I
Viper.
don't know if KP's played that DK offlane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like when Newbie has it, like they save that SCC hero for last.
Usually.
Like back in the Queen of Pain.
Yeah.
days at the time.
You may now
So that could be that
select
mid lane,
Okay,
right?
so that could be either. It's actually
Okay,
a
no,
Moogie
it's
hero
actually
as well.
Moogie.
Yeah, it's usually a Moogie
Yeah, they
hero.
don't have like a lot of good spells to clear out the waves, the illusions.
I like
This-
PL if they put it mid versus the Viper personally a little bit more than the DK. That matchup's actually pretty PL1 sided.
Shades of thanks of Abed and Bryle from.
Yeah, I
from
mean
Race.
that one was a little extreme, but so PL is it?
But kind of like overall, I still like the Beastmaster Venge Chen kind of line up more, like personally for me with the
Very
Troll.
nice, isn't it? Yep.
So
Okay.
I'm sticking with LGD.
Gonna go for LGD.
Yeah.
Okay. Fogged.
I don't think Newbies look so hot, and I think Troll versus Phoenix makes Phoenix pretty hard to play. So I'm also gonna go LGD.
Yeah, I think Newbie's draft is a
Interesting.
bit greedy, and they haven't played very well lately. So, I think LGD is going to be able to pressure them, and I'm going to go with LGD as well.
All right.
Pause. What?
What just happened?
Usually Newbie is pretty good versus their Chinese
yeah.
teams,
True.
but
Yeah,
lately
yeah.
they've been struggling. So
I guess each to their own. You can choose whoever you want, but we've gone for a clean sweep of LGD here on the panel. They're usually fantastic against their hometown teams. Newbie hasn't been quite the case so far at DAC. Is it going to continue? Are they about to dump themselves down to 0-3? Let's find out as we head back to our commentary team for game number 3.
Thanks, Paul, here for our now all-Chinese affair, LGD going against Newbie. Newbie yet to get a win. LGD currently sporting a 1-1 record. The panel pretty unanimous in feeling that LGD have a very strong draft coming into this one. Costa, I'm eager to hear your thoughts on it.
I'll throw it out there. I'll go with Newbie this time.
Okay, you're wrong.
I'm just kidding. Jack, I went with Newbie. So Troll, of course, is a good hero against Phoenix, but their support, I want to see what Chen does right now. He's not active until minute 1 plus. So he needs to get a creep and then come to a lane. I mean, he can just stay at the off lane, punch some right clicks, and that's I expect him to do with the Beastmaster. But the Tricores on side of Newbee, you have Phantom Lancer who scales well, you have Dragonite plus a Tiny, and then you have a Phoenix who's gonna heal them up. That sounds really strong. They talked about coaches, who's the most paid coach, but the LGDs, they talked also about Chalice being the drafter, but it's actually 357 who's in charge. He's the old school player. He's 32 years old now.
Yep.
He played for eHome. Pretty known, also known as QQQ.
Yeah, gotta remember the coaches are in there on the draft now, so they could pretty much take full reign of the tactician and strategy on that one.
Kaka, he wants to get the chicken, but seems like Viper knows about it.
Yeah, they keep the courier in the base, maybe just kind of communication being put into the air that the bird is missing. The bird has left the nest, and we have no idea where the hell he is. Some time could be wasted here from Kaka. That courier is not moving, not whatsoever. So as our anticipated matchup does break out here, KP is going to be hanging in the safe lane up at the top, going toe-to-toe against Ame in a full tri-lane, so it might be a little bit of a difficult time for him. Here we go, the full 3-lane
chicken
split. Oh, is it going? It's going, but it might be too late. Kaka's already out the other way.
Yeah, that's why he sent the chicken. So he might go for it now. Let's see.
There's no way. They're just going to auto-send it back. Yeah, he's going to go the long road.
The little donkey knows what's up.
Well, good heads up there from LGD.
What's the donkey from Shrek called?
Donkey.
Just a donkey?
Yes. The name is Donkey Lacoste. Just Donkey. Well, we were eager to see what Nova was going to be doing. Lots of theory crafting was happening over breakfast as far as what Chen's potential is going to be in the early game, and they're actually already making a hefty hidey-ho kind of the commitment dive, looking to go for KP, but it may be too far. Rotations come in, and the Witch Doctor's like, what the hell did I come to? Faith just gets blasted apart, and he becomes first blood there for Nova. Nova, every game we've seen him play, has a stellar start to the game, win or lose. It seems like he's always walking away with a monster kill streak early on. Kake getting softened up quite a bit up here. Lots of tension here in the top lane.
So Kaka wasted a lot of time trying to get that chicken. And there was a Witch Doctor who just TP'd and died. So this top lane, this is going really hard for Newbee right now. Dragonite SCCC with level 2 Dragon Blood on the mid lane, plus the Ring of Regen. It doesn't feel like Viper can harass him.
Oof, sorry. He's able to make it away just barely. Lots of harassment there into the tower. But yeah, the DK Viper matchup was one of pretty high particular interest. Starts out pretty good for DK, but as the Nether Toxin comes together, we'll have to see how it pans out. More flirting happening here in the top lane, man. As long as Nova's around, they're going to continue to add that pressure while they can with the Chen.
Yeah, maybe, by maybe I mean Somnus, expected this lane to go better. I guess he went even for one level of Nether Toxin, so they can break him, and with the rotation from Chen, they can actually kill him.
For now, Chen has been really residing in the top lane. No extra assistance going that way just yet.
Look at the CS on Dragonite, 21-7. He even brought the Tangos and Flask, which is not really common for Dragonites. He's not getting harassed at all.
No, he's not. Right now, we'll see Somnus kind of pepper him up a bit, but this is all going his way. It's Kaka to get dropped, though. Ame able to get that pick off, and the LGD top lane continues to thrive. Got one going into the pocket of the core himself. Got to be feeling pretty good here. KP, I mean, the trees are just crumbled all apart right now. They could just see right through them. KP's just kind of waiting back and behind, but okay. Pulls his attention on over a bit. Bottom lane. Some pressure coming in again onto Chalice. He'll be forced all the way back.
Yeah, Fate with the defensive build. No points in Maledict early on. I still think you need to get 1 point. Even if you want to go for Voodoo Restoration, you should just get 1 point so you have that kill potential.
Faith, a very selfless player we've seen in a lot of his games. Tends to be on the bad end of a lot of the ganks. Stop. KP on the bad end of another swarm here towards the top. This time looking pretty dire. He's trying to hide through the trees, but there's F wide away for him. He'll easily finish him off. Nova picks up that one as well, turns around, gets the net onto Captain Faith, and it looks like he'll be chopped down next. One more right click should do it, and even Kaka might be caught into the action. This is an absolute just travesty in the top lane for Newbee.
Yeah, they even had to cancel the TP from a Tiny. So what?
What is that
Does
chat
that-
wheel?
No,
Oh,
no.
wow. Hey.
Am I missing something, or does Tiny have 5 TPs? Am I blind?
Tiny has 5 TPs. Tiny has 5 TPs. What is happening? Newbee.
That's tilt right there. I don't know what's happening. Why would you have a 5 scroll of teleports 5 minutes
5
in?
fingers. I don't know. I don't have an answer. This is something
that's
special.
That's
though.
actually 6 teleports because he was TPing and had to cancel it.
Oh, okay. Well,
Probably a misclick or tilt.
lots of misclick. I mean, he comes back and already they're just peppering him. This is just full-blown Tiltville. KP hiding within the trees. And his team's like, I can't TP in this time. I'm sorry. We just can't help you out.
No, they
Ame
can't.
just chops him apart like nothing. It's 6-0 at nearly 6 minutes in.
They can't TP because he took all the TPs from the shop.
The vendor's just like, I'm sorry. I mean, there's nothing left here.
He has 7 TPs right now.
Mid lane, they're scorching up some Viper. Can Newbee get themselves on the board? Well, the rotation's coming in. He got another couple of TPs. Oh my god. But, well, no follow through will be there for Newbee on this one. They do get some hefty damage. Force Somnus all the way back to the tower, but yeah, Newbee got to make the most of what's working for him. And right now it seems to be a lot of SCCC in this mid lane. I mean, still 39-12, pretty good. Troll's hanging with him though, but yeah, you can't help but feel like Ame in the top lane is really just kind of getting the best of everything. Dire scan, a defensive one, will spot out FY nearby. KP got to feel even extra defensive here. Might need to get a couple more TPs.
I mean, if you're about to die early on and you don't have a gold for anything, you might as well just buy it, not to lose it. But 7 TPs, that's... Whew.
It's 5 too many, probably. 6 maybe. Yeah, this is peculiar here. Newbee really feeling like out of their element at the moment. There goes our first Viper strike into the mid lane. Chalice shows up, dishing out the whirling axes, dishes out the powerful vocal cords of that roar, and we'll be able to secure the kill on the biggest, most profitable person in the Newbee side. And why not just follow it up with a casual takedown of Little Faith as well? Lacoste, this game could be pretty fast.
Yeah, this could be the fastest game that we've seen this tournament.
This is crazy. Kaka forced to just Icarus dive away, eating too much pressure and damage as FY is able to zone him back.
So these towers are gonna fall. They don't have any tools to defend it. Dragon Knight still no ulti. That's the only way they can take these fights. Like both Phoenix and Witch Doctor are kind of under-leveled. Pretty hard to fight with those. Also, you have Tiny, who has nothing.
Yeah, this is just DK only at the moment. I mean, Moogie's got the bottom lane. He's working with level 7, 42 CS. It's all right. But it is going to be a long road of the early game right now. Finds a little FY nearby, but Ame shows up. Nice doppelganger to avoid the magic missile.
Even Troll's going for like build to be active early on. He might still switch, but if they feel like they can finish the game and he goes for Mask of Madness, S and Y, they can just easily finish this game. There's still no point in Vengeance Aura from Venge and 2 points in Inner Beast, which gives them more damage. But they're trying to find a kill with the roar.
They dish out the roar, and they see Faith. Looks like they'll easily be able to take him down. Moogie, though, looking to get in the action. KP shows up with one of his many TPs and is able to kind of begin swinging away, and it will be the first kill for Newbee of this one. Possibly looking to go for more. FY also going to fall victim. The Newbee squad have shown up to play now to score 2.
Yeah, they should be careful about diving, because Tiny has 6 teleports, so he can always come into the fight.
There is a cooldown, though, so keep that in mind. Does have the Blink Dagger queued up and had some space to work with in the top lane. I feel like, you know, this isn't the end of KP. We will see KP resurface stronger in this one if given the time and space.
Yeah, he got a good chunk of gold from that kill. 330. He farms fast. That's the thing about Tiny, but they have also like good scaling lineup. All these auras with the Viper. with the troll, they don't have too many things to clear those creeps. That's the thing. Like once Beastmaster gets, I don't know if he's gonna get some of the Dominator, but probably should. Plus when he skills Call of the Wild as well, that's gonna be a lot of summons.
Added pressure still coming in from LGD. While they have this kind of momentum, why not use it and restrict the farm here of Newbee and continue to bring in as much gold as possible, as they're already at 2K net worth advantage, bringing this top tier tier 2 down to about half of its life. Forcing out the reinforcement call here from Kaka nearby, but still LGD cowering around. In the meantime, though, SCCC is able to kind of help secure the bottom tier 1 tower. Gets a little bit of extra money to spend.
When you said still LGD, wasn't that song from the Summit?
Still LGD. Yeah, that was on a parody album we made for LGD. You're right. You're right. Good call. All right, Fortify now coming out. More Newbee members to the top lane. They're not looking to let this tier 2 fall so hastily. Even SCCC here. No Dragon form yet available, of course.
Yeah, with that Mask of Madness, it opens up a Roche for Troll. He can solo it with level 4 Fervor, and he also has level 3
Mask
Rage.
of Madness Troll brings me back to 6.83 days. The early Roche takedown at that time. Okay, toss on forward, looking to go for FY. The Dragon Tail is there. I think that they're just going to have to hand that one over. Oh, nope, never mind. See you later. FY is sent right back home.
Yeah, that's, I mean, Chen was nerfed, but that sandbag seems so strong still.
Yep. Nicely timed there, well played from Mr. Nova. Now again, 3-0. This guy has some of the best early game play I've seen. Now they smoke and go on the prowl here. LGD looking to hold on to the momentum while they got it. Meantime, Ame still farming his way through that bottom lane.
I'm not sure if they bought the Tome, probably did on side of Newbee, because both supports are level 5. They only need Phoenix to hit level 6, and they can easily take a team fight then, but Phoenix could be in problem right now. Yeah, that's a dead Phoenix.
Okay, here comes trouble. They roar, and suddenly the Phoenix is just roasted chicken. Man. And they're not done yet. They're going to look to follow it up with a tier 2 takedown as well. This is getting out of hand real fast.
Yeah, look at the amount of damage. That's only level 1 aura from Venge, level 2 aura from Beast. And this Nether Toxin just feels so great against the DK.
And they are ascending. They are going into high ground. They're saying Newbee are nowhere near online.
Tiny has a Blink Dagger.
There he goes. KP looking for vengeance from that early game. Gets the toss back. A lot of pressure. Going to be onto the Viper, but there's the send back. And now it's going to be the bailout here for LGD. Can they make it away from trouble? Ame looking ahead of the high ground. The Sunray, though, slowly burning him out. The tree smacks him on the bottom. But still, looks like LGD are able to create enough space and avoid any casualties. So a successful push for them, a good influx of gold, and they force Newbee to congregate all together to try to pull out a defense.
Yeah, oh, that's a double damage for Torture. That's a secure Roche.
Yeah, I mean, that's the benefit. Forcing all the rotation from Newbee to the top lane means that LGD can just safely, securely move into this Roche pit. And like you mentioned, with the DD, we'll make it all the safer. They even put out a couple of scans here.
I'm not sure why they use the scan on themselves. Like, there's no Invis heroes. There's no Monkey King sitting on a tree. So,
Yeah,
I mean, they can still turn this fight. With the good Supernova, it's gonna be hard to place it.
Yeah, I mean, you still have, you know, Battle Trance, right click coming out from Troll and Viper and Venge. So the egg placement is very critical. And you have to work through like the sustained power of LGD. Nova is now level 6 on the Chen, and he has the heal too.
Yeah, so that's gonna heal them for decent amount of HP. Viper has Hood, not Hood, sorry, Helm of the Dominator flying to him. So that's gonna be an extra creep, an extra aura maybe. Beastmaster going for Vlad's. They just want to group up and finish this game as soon as possible.
I don't really blame them. They've had so much going their way. No reason to kind of start pumping the brakes. They have a team that kind of comes online super fast. Why not utilize its potential while you can? Back to the top lane we go. Ame and Somnus. Tag team up towards this tower. This tier 2 is certainly outnumbered. And it is dropped just like that. Let's see if LGD decide to rinse and repeat what we saw from the bottom lane earlier. Just kind of pressure into the high ground and force Newbee to come together. This time, though, of course, they have the extra life. They could just dangle Ame right out in front. Let's see if the first fruitful team fight will be there for Newbee. A good toss back onto the troll. Try to keep him alive, but beautiful swap play right there. Chen's going to dish out the ultimate. FY will pay the price.
Oh, they're on a hunt now.
Yes, they are. Hustling and bustling. Newbee looking to head outside. Their base, those axes, though, chopping away at Kaka. He kind of hesitates a bit. Still has the Nova, but...
No stuns. Once they use a Tiny with his combo, Dragon Knight still doesn't have an item that gives him mobility, no Shadow Blade, no Blink, but they're doing a good job just defending the tower. They didn't lose anything. Also, there's a top ward. This is a really valuable ward when they're sieging your base. You just place it at your tower just to get the vision. So, Diffuse Blade finished on Phantom Lancer. That's gonna be a lot of damage added in those fights. And what else is there? Dragon Knight just going for... Yeah, that's gonna be great. Heaven's Halberd against the Troll.
Yeah. Troll at the moment, of course, has no defensive item to be able to shrug off that, but...
This might backfire, that they went all in with the auras and buying all these cheap items.
Really trying to take advantage of that early peak. We'll see. They come together, they smoke, and they look to see if they can continue to keep this pacing going. Because you're right, game lingers on too long. Some of this early potential they've kind of invested in might prove to be not so good. Here we go, movement in for SCCC. This is one of the juicier targets right now for Newbee. It's taken quite a bit of firepower to be able to get it done, and not even a Sunray is going to be able to help him out. Kaka's forced to dive out in a way to avoid the potential swap there from FY, but here comes trouble. 27 seconds. There is a buyback, but he needs the buyback. If you have to use it at this point in the game, it feels pretty defeating here for Newbee. A jump from KP, trying to go for the toss, but was not successful. Oh no, he will lose his life. There goes the buyback, and it is necessary for Newbee to kind of hold on to this one. Nice Ray to come out, will help him get the finish onto Chalice, but the rest of the LGD company are able to move in and get that secured finish onto SCCC. It's a dieback for him, and LGD continue to hold strong, making this base their own. Fighting in on forward, looking to get a hold of Mugi if possible. He quickly doppelgangers out in the way, but look at this. Tier 3's already down, and still LGD holding strong onto the spot. The egg on the back lines forces LGD to kind of step off a bit. The good coconut is there. Ame still has that Aegis, though, and will force them to commit the pop.
Yeah, did you see the AoE? That 300 AoE increased.
2 seconds for heal
from being
Chen.
sent back.
But yeah. Oh, Chen's gone.
That's so stupid. But they don't have nothing to counter the sandbag from Chen. They lost the tower. Only melee Raxes are gonna regen. So that's a good chunk of gold for them. Dragon Knight didn't lose too much with that dieback. They just need to use Egg more offensively. And when they group up, try to use a Cask and Tiny combo. Either that or just try to use back toss with the Tiny. He failed this time, but it's very effective when they're defending the base. So either that or just try to use Egg offensively and combo with the Tiny. Just follow up.
I mean, on one hand, the heavy early TP investment here from KP, you know, was something else, but maybe just getting rid of all the gold he had on hand. He will eventually use all those TPs over time, so the joke may be on us. Now, LGD just quickly fend off any added pressure coming in from the Newbee side, but we wager that LGD are going to continue to try to cross this river and add extra pressure. I mean, do you think that that's got to be the case, or do they possibly slow things down actually at this point, hold out for the next Roche before they make another committed go?
They're probably going to try to get the tier 2 tower on mid, but Newbee knows something is up. They're going to intercept them. Deep ward on the lane, which gives them a lot of info where they are.
Smoke movement here from Newbee, scouring through this mid lane, and might eventually consider going across and checking out the LGD side, but it looks like they will not do that. Not getting an opportunity to get any sort of catches on their own side of the river. They opt to instead split up, get back to the farm grind, use the timing on the clock while they can.
That's the real problem. They don't have that much burst damage. with the side on the side of a newbie. So Chen can always send one guy back.
More time for farm would be necessary for Newbee to kind of get that extra added kill potential. But
Once Troll gets a BKB and Viper has one queued up, it's going to be pretty impossible for Newbee to actually take a fight. And the new Roche is going to spawn, so I expect LGD just to take this slow, get both BKBs up, take the Roche, cheese Aegis on both cores, and just finish the game from there.
Faith was able to kind of wiggle in and get at least one vision ward down, be able to kind of spot out LGD's movement from their side as they possibly consider preparations and moving toward that top tier 1, let's say. Grabbing any sort of resources they can on that side of the map. KP down below after picking up that Blink Dagger. It looks like he's got the Force Staff now queued up for extra bit of mobility on that Tiny.
Yeah, it's going to be great against hero like Venge, especially Beastmaster. Just get someone out of the focus.
A lot of eyes on Mugi for this one, at least if you're Newbee here. You already mentioned how the Diffusal adds a lot to their fighting potential a bit, and it looks like he'll be segueing that into a Manta style too. Time is of the essence. And BKB queue now for SCCC in addition to his own Silver Edge.
Yeah, he doesn't even have anything besides Heaven's Halberd, so that's 2 10-second BKB on side of LGD. Roche will respawn in 2 minutes, so they just need to push out the lanes. The problem might occur for LGD if this game drags. They don't have too much AoE. Everything they have is pretty much Nether Toxin and some Wild Axes, which is really not effective. Most of the trolls go for Battle Fury, but this game the build seemed fine, but if the game drags, it might be a problem.
Yeah, if they move in, get this Roche, get this Aegis, and during that whole Aegis time, they can't even get a finish on a set of racks, I would definitely be pretty nervous.
Yeah, but Newbee should take a fight near the Roche, even if they decide to go for it. With level 11, almost level 12 on Phoenix, Phoenix is really good at defending Roche.
I like this. Newbee have smoked up. They're hiding their positioning. Watching LGD creep on in at KP. Looks for the spot. Gets a hold of the Troll. Looks as he tops him into the action, but he does have that BKB. They get the pullback. Nice swap back, and they instantly blow up Mugi. Both Mugi. KP taken out of this one without a buyback. Faith will be next. 3 hit the deck. And Somnus scores the double kill for it. This tier 2 is going to drop, and I would imagine possibly a Rax to follow.
I mean, they need to do something, but tossing Troll backwards, trying to stun him with a DK afterwards, he has enough time to pop a BKB.
Yeah.
And then your Phoenix is out of position. This is going to be probably 2 sets of Raxes.
This could quickly be the game. Phoenix down. Buyback. All right. They got to do something. Fortify will be there, but this mid lane also looks to belong to LGD. Chop it away. There's the swap back. Looking to go for the bird. He's gone. Okay. Kaka buyback is a dieback. Just like that. Look at this, though. Good return fire. They're going to be able to take down the Prince FY. Now rotation's coming in. This might be enough to force LGD out from the base. They begin their run. Diffusal on the Ame. He might need assistance, but of course, who's going to give it to him? Nova. Send them right back home packing, but they quickly change targets. Go for Somnus instead. The Viper pops his BKB. A buyback here for FY.
Wants to swap
Looking to rotate in to be able to bail out his fellow core, but no! He's got another send back if it's necessary, and he says, see you later. And look who's back into action now from the previous send back in the fountain. It's going to be Omne. And LGD have shown that they have not just rounds 2, but round 3 and 4 in their back pocket to continue swinging here. Newbee extend themselves outside from their base, but it's time for them to waddle their way back home. Not so fortunate, though, is looking to be Mugi, and he just gets brought down. Wow.
Yeah, they can't take these fights anymore. Even though Roche is up, they just want to go mid and finish the game. Phantom Lancer, they know he does not have a buyback. Full S and right bot on him. If he had it, he would have used it in the previous fight anyway.
Well, they still have the egg, but not a pan or anything to crack it in at this point. Oh, there's a swap back. That bird's gone. See you later.
Yeah, that's Ether Lens Venge with level 2 swap and X Nova with some sick Centaur Conqueror stuns twice in a row. That's going to be a game.
Yep. This is destruction from LGD. I cannot believe we are going to be seeing Newbee at 0-3 now for this.
Yeah, I don't think anyone expected Newbee to play this bad. If you watch Newbee closely, you can see that they had some problems before the way they draft as well. I mean, they tried to go with a couple of new heroes. I mean, it's just a Phoenix, that the hero that's not used that often. He received some buffs, but not this game. It was clearly an out draft from LGD.
Just be so concerned for Newbee because, you know, again, 0-3 already, but the rest of this group does not look to be any easier for them. They still have yet to play Liquid, yet to play OG, who looks super hot today, and then TNC, who were able to take down LGD. Yep. So are we potentially going to see a future with Newbee not even making it to the next stage? That would be crazy to me.
Yeah.
All right. I'm very curious to hear what the panel had their take on this game right here. Let's send it over their way.
Thanks very much, gents. Yes, a win for LGD, but as the boys said, another defeat for Newbee. That's 3 out of 3 losses on home soil in a tournament that many are saying is China's best chance of winning a major this season. Let's break it down with the gentlemen that all got it correct on the panel, I might say. That probably, gents, was the easiest prediction you're going to make all week. I don't think there's going to be an easier one to make after that draft. That was pretty poor from Newbee.
Yeah,
Draft and play.
Yeah, draft and play. I think it was really greedy draft, and I think they got punished super hard. I really like this aggro tri-lane that was ran by LGD. They kind of like set themselves up for a win already there because now, you know, Beastmaster's going to get stuff bottom. Sure, the mid lane, that was actually won really hard by the Dragon Knight, which was, we're all kind of like debating, I think, if Dragon Knight wins versus Viper. I think we're all kind of like on that way now. But yeah, they completely shut down KP to get a late Blink Dagger, and they just had this push lineup where you look at Newbies, they didn't really have anything to kind of just bring them together and actually take the fights versus that.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, Jack, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is like an unusually greedy and kind of disjointed draft. Like all their heroes either needed a lot of experience or items to get anything done. You didn't have like a real natural fight starter from the support positions. It just felt like they couldn't do anything. They're just reacting the whole time, just getting run at behind towers. And yeah, it was just, I don't know, they did not look good in this game at all. And you really got to be worried about this going forward because now they're 0-3. So
I mean, for their kind of lineup to come together, I think the only way it works is they have a really, really good laning phase across all 3 lanes. But then they have this Phoenix pick, which, you know, I mean, he's great at team fights, but he's not the best support for the laning phase, and you're up against the Chen early game.
And he got counterpicked like later on too. He got picked pretty early, and then you just see Troll Warlord come out. So even if they do, I mean, we didn't really see. I think we only saw like one egg.
Every time I see these kind of picks during patch, I always feel like, oh, certain players just feel like, oh, they really like to play a certain hero. Oh, great, there's a buff. Can we pick this hero?
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's his fault. But like overall, sometimes you see this kind of things happen during patches and doesn't work.
yeah, and with this draft, it's like you're gonna lose your outer towers very early on. Even if the laning phase goes well and you're able to get some farm out of it, you're gonna lose your towers quickly. You're gonna give up Roshan really fast, and there's not much you can do in terms of making plays. You don't have many options. I mean, unless you rush some kind of like.
I mean, in theory, if Tiny gets let's say Tiny gets a good game, he has a very good. Okay, maybe not like a super early blink, but a reasonable time on the blink. And Phoenix has his ultimate. Maybe they can contest defending their towers. Tiny starts the fight. The egg comes in to follow up. You know, I think they're probably just counting on that, but that didn't happen because Tiny had an awful laning phase.
Yeah, I think like X Nova played this game incredibly well on the Chen. Like several times where I thought Newbee maybe they can start getting a chance to come back. The hero they're focusing gets sent home, and they don't get any money for it. So that's like their way to kind of come back is get those kills, and it just never ended up happening. So it looked even worse than it actually was. Like LGD just kind of stumped them.
Is Chen still good?
He seems pretty good still.
Yeah, apart from
other teams are making him work.
Yeah, apart from being not being able to secure the level 2 for the offlane, everything seems the same for the hero. He gives you so much pressure. He takes down your towers, get Roshan. So maybe he's still like a first pick hero.
Maybe he was just not played very well in this particular game. Didn't synergize with the rest of the team.
I don't know. I think Chen maybe can still be like a really strong first pick hero still.
Yeah, I mean, if you pick a lineup like that with it, right? If you just have this like heavy push to punish all the lanes, it can cause so much. And it causes a lot of economical damage in the early game too,
I mean,
right? Like just the send home and come back.
The main difference is right now you cannot do, like what Fnatic do, they like to put the carry on the offlane because they have the Chen. I think that's the main difference you can't do now with Chen, but everything else seems the same.
Okay. MVP for you boys? Is it Alme?
I don't know, actually. I like the Chen play.
I think Chen.
I like the Chen.
Chen.
X-Nova. Yeah,
Okay.
I'd like to give it to him this time.
Yeah, I give it to X-Nova as well. And if you look at, I mean, LGD has been great domestically recently. They've kind of taken over that King of China crown. And if you look at it, they're the only Tier 1 Chinese team with a support player who regularly plays this Chen hero. And again, like, even if that gives you just a little bit of an advantage in drafts to figure out whether you're going to counter this hero specifically against this team or give it to them, like, it can be a huge advantage. And so, I mean, there was a joke, I think, around the time of Bucharest where when Newbee brought out the Chen that they hadn't played in over a year to use against VGJ Thunder, they're like, oh, Newbee, these traitors to the Han or the national traitors, they're bringing out the Chen against another Chinese team. What is this? And then they haven't really been comfortable using that since then. But you see, X-Nova obviously plays it very well, and that's an important tool in their arsenal. If you just basically take over the early game like that, and you have cores who are so good with that space and farm later on, and you can play different styles with the Chen. You can choose to scale a little bit as VP might do, or you can just choose to just run things over early if the lineup's too greedy. Gives you a lot of options.
I mean, it's the bonus of having a player in the team who is not China-centric, isn't it? I mean, some of these Chinese teams now are starting to branch out a little bit more and have non-Chinese players in the team. And it wasn't something we saw a couple of years ago, was it? Now it's starting to become a thing, and that's what it adds. Yeah,
in a lot of ways, LGD is kind of a trailblazer in this front, right? Because remember LGD Int, that was a little bit different. It wasn't blending in Western players on the Chinese team, but they brought people in. Then we saw players like Afu, obviously. Yeah, as well. Yeah. He was on VG at the time. But they were kind of a trailblazer in the sense, and they were like, hey, these Malaysian players, they're pretty good. It's like,
what is wrong with you?
I can't handle. I love Jack's vocabulary. The words that he says and stuff. It's just so funny. Oh, it's amazing. I don't know. It just cracks me up.
My train of thought's been ruined.
Thanks for ruining what was a really good point. I was enjoying that. Shut up, Fogged. What are you doing? Just tell him to shut up.
I mean, sometimes that's what all the Chinese teams need. They are like really conservative, but when they add this like maybe a C player or a European player,
it gives them access to a different pool of heroes as well, doesn't it? It gives them a different mix. It's really exciting. I like it. Let's check in with the results with what's happened so far, because this is how Group A and B are doing today. 3 games down in Group A. We're going quite speedy over here again. It was the same as yesterday. OG winning the battle of the OGs to become the OG. 1-0 in that game, of course. TNC beating King Gaming. You've just seen Newbee going down to 0-3 after defeat against LGD. Over in Group B, VGJ Thunder winning against Pain Gaming. No surprise there. And Mineski taking down Effect. No surprise there. And that guarantees, by the way, Mineski a place in the playoffs for absolute certainty. They've won 3-0 so far. So they can't be caught by at least one team could catch them, but not the bottom 2, that's for sure. It'd take an absolute miracle now. Effect would have to win all of their games, and Mineski would have to lose them. It's mathematically possible that they didn't make it, but 3-0 should take them through. It's pretty good.
Yeah, no, they look very comfortable, and they're running their own style, which is like the most impressive thing for me. They're picking like this Venge, safe lane, and all that. Just the heroes that they really like playing, and it's working perfect.
I mean, arguably, people will say, well, they've played the 3 easiest teams in the group. Sure, but that still means they finished 4th. So that's okay, or 5th at the worst, which means they're in the playoffs, and I think that's all they care about right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, game number 4. We're rattling through these today, but I hope you're enjoying the Dota 2. A very quick game from LGD, one of the fastest we've had so far in the first 2 days, ensures they go to 2-1 in Group A. It's all despondency for Newbee fans, though. They are currently sitting at 0-3. Game 4 is just after the break.